frustration here in Britain about the leaks to the media about Monday's attack here in Manchester. The Mayor of Manchester and the Deputy Mayor for Policing and Crime, both here with me now, Andy Burnham and Baroness Beverly Hughes. Thank you. Andy, if I can come to you first. You've already spoken out about these leaks. We've heard as well from the police constable saying that they are damaging to the investigation. What is your advice? What is your message to the US now as far as this information, if they get hold of it?
I don't want a diplomatic row with our friends in the United States right now. It's the last thing we want. But I did raise concerns from the very beginning, actually, with the acting ambassador here. The information was being given by officials seemingly in Washington to US media outlets before it had been given out here. Now, the principle has got to be the authority in the lead on any investigation must be able to control the release of information so as not to compromise the investigation. That hasn't happened. And quite honestly, I find it unbelievable that we are in this position. You know, having asked for it to stop, it didn't stop, and that's why we're going public today. My message is quite a tough one. It is wrong, it is arrogant, and it is disrespectful to the people of Greater Manchester, but particularly to the families of those who lost loved ones and those who are injured. And so I say to the US government today, from the very top, a clear statement must be made that this will stop immediately.
Beverly Hughes, do you have the same message as well, given the fact that this investigation is still in its early stages and it could indeed have been hampered?
Absolutely. It could have been hampered. We don't know. Our police and security services are making great progress. But the point is that at the point of people leaking this information, they don't know what impact it's going to have. And it's foolhardy and it's reckless. I think the broader point is that actually the security of the people of both the UK and the US absolutely depend on us having absolute confidence in each other, respectively. And what's happened this week has jeopardised that relationship, jeopardised that confidence and that understanding. And we actually have to get back to that. It's in the long-term interests of all of our people.
There have been reports that intelligence sharing has been suspended temporarily as a result. Is that, to your knowledge, what is going on? And is that case of sort of like shooting yourself in the foot in a way? Because we do need our American allies, of course, when it comes to intelligence.
Well, you know, Beverly's right. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. We do trust our American colleagues. It's just that in this instance, something has gone wrong. And the decision that's been taken is not to, I think, suspend any sharing of information. It's just information related to this particular investigation.
Right, okay.
Because, you know, we quite frankly can't afford to risk it anymore. It has been compromised by the leaks. We can't afford any more. So we've taken a temporary decision with this. Let's clear it out and draw a line. Let's not have a row that lingers on. Nobody wants that. But equally, we have to make our opinions clear so that we can get this relationship back to where we all want it to be.
Andy, you're the Mayor of Greater Manchester. There have been raids taking place throughout the city over the course of the last couple of days. Is it fair to say that there are potentially hotbeds of jihadi activity in and around Greater Manchester that we just didn't know about before?
I think we have to be careful about the language that we use, because Greater Manchester is a harmonious place. We haven't had an incident of this kind. As you can see, it's a city of solidarity. That's who we are. It's what we are. It's what we've always been, and we will be in the future. What we have is some extremists living within our midst, and it's not unique to here. Extremism is on the rise around the world, and I think it's very important to make the distinction between individuals who are terrorists, who are criminals, and not then using that to create a general suspicion over the whole Muslim community. That's what terrorists want us to do, to provoke a clash, a cycle of violence. And what you're hearing from Greater Manchester this week is we won't fall into that trap.
What about resources, though? Because we do know that Salman Abedi was under some kind of surveillance. We don't know how much surveillance, but he was known to the authorities at least. Beverly, I'm wondering if you think that more money needs to be put into our security apparatus in this country in order to prevent a future attack.
Well, I think what we understand is that al-Abedi was referred to the security services by two individuals 5 years ago. They investigated him then. He was regarded as peripheral. He did not reappear on that radar screen for the last five years. So he wasn't a high priority in any case in terms of surveillance. We will want to look with the government, and indeed I think every city will, at the question of resources for the security services. Having said that, I think we all understand that not every single individual, however peripheral they may be, can be surveyed. It's impossible to imagine having that level of resources. But certainly the general question you ask, I would say yes, we will want to look at the end whether more resources are necessary. And actually, in terms of this particular individual, whether there are lessons to be learned from those referrals and how they were followed up.
We saw this incredible moment of silence earlier on, and the whole city really coming together to remember the 22 victims, and it is of course them that we should be focusing on much more than the bomber as well. The Queen, Her Majesty, has been at Manchester Royal Infirmary earlier. What kind of a boost would that have been to not just the victims and also the patients there, but also the doctors, the staff who've worked tirelessly over the last couple of days?
We love her as much as you do, and you know, the fact that 90 years old comes up and pays a visit like that and gives people time. I think from what I hear, you know, she spent a lot of time talking to people. I mean, it's amazing. It will have an incredible boost at this particular moment in time. And yes, the gathering, the minute silence. I mean, we've seen some profoundly moving moments in this city in recent times, but that was something different. And also the song that burst out, the Oasis song, obviously a band of this city, Don't Look Back in Anger. I think that probably sums up the feelings of most people here. We're not going to let the terrorists win.
My thanks to both of you for coming on CNN. We very much appreciate it. Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, and Baroness Beverly Hughes as well, the Deputy Mayor for Police and Crime. Thank you very much.